Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson, Ph.D. Let me tell you about a moment that changed everything. Picture this. Dr. Richard Carlson, the author of this book, is absolutely freaking out. A foreign publisher just slapped an old endorsement from the famous Dr. Wayne Dyer onto a completely different book without asking permission. Richard's mind is spinning with worst-case scenarios. His reputation, the ethics, the broken trust, it all feels like a disaster waiting to explode. So he does what any of us would do. He panics, pulls the books from shelves, and writes this long, apologetic letter to Wayne Dyer, basically begging for forgiveness and explaining how he's fixing this mess. Then he waits, for weeks, probably not sleeping well, imagining every terrible outcome. Finally, Wayne Dyer's response arrives. Richard opens it, bracing himself. It's just a few lines. Richard, there are 2 rules for living in harmony. Number 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Number 2, it's all small stuff. Let the quote stand. Love, Wayne. That's it. No drama, no anger, just pure, simple peace. And that single moment? That became the spark for a book that sold over 25 million copies and became the #1 bestseller in America. Here's what's wild about this book. Richard Carlson wasn't some mystical guru living in a monastery. He was just a regular guy with a Ph.D. who realized something profound. He was living his life like everything was an emergency, and so was basically everyone else. We blow up over tiny things. We let the smallest moments steal our joy. We turn molehills into mountains every single day. What Carlson did was create this beautiful collection of 100 simple reminders to help us snap out of it, to help us stop treating life like one endless crisis. And here's the really good news. You don't need to become a completely different person to find peace. You don't need to quit your job and move to Tibet. You just need to change how you relate to your own thoughts. By the time we're done today, you'll have a whole new toolkit for keeping the little stuff from hijacking your life. You'll know how to find calm right in the middle of chaos. And here's the kicker. Letting go of the small stuff doesn't mean you become lazy or stop achieving. It actually clears the path so you can finally focus on what really matters. So, where do we start? The big idea is right there in the title. We're constantly sweating the small stuff. Someone cuts us off in traffic and we're furious for the next hour. We're stuck in a long line and suddenly our whole day is ruined. We argue about things that, honestly, just don't matter. Carlson says we're living like life is one giant emergency. We're rushing everywhere, our minds are cluttered with worry, and we're always trying to solve the next problem. And because we treat everything like it's life or death, everything becomes life or death. We end up stressed, anxious, and we completely miss the beautiful moments happening right in front of us. The first big shift is just changing your perspective. Next time you feel yourself getting worked up, try this simple question. Will this matter a year from now? Think about it. That argument you had last week, that thing you were worried about last month, can you even remember it now? Probably not. This one question is like a magic wand that shrinks your problems back down to their actual size. Need something even stronger? Try this. Remember, 100 years from now, all new people. It's a bit stark, but it's true. Everyone on this planet right now, including you and me, will be gone. That person who annoyed you, that mistake you made, that bill you're stressing about, none of it will exist. Talk about perspective. Now, this doesn't mean your problems aren't real. It's just that life isn't actually an emergency, even though we treat it like one. A flat tire isn't life or death. A spilled drink isn't a catastrophe. A critical comment won't end you. Life usually goes on just fine, even when things don't go according to plan. There's this beautiful Buddhist teaching Carlson shares: see the glass as already broken. If you have a favorite glass, you can love it and appreciate it. But you also know it's made of glass, and one day it will break. That's just reality. So you enjoy it while it's here, and when it eventually shatters, you don't fall apart. You just say, there it goes. This works for everything. Your car will get scratched, your phone will get old, your plans will change. This isn't being negative. It's being realistic. It's making peace with the fact that everything in life is constantly changing. When you accept this, you stop fighting reality. You stop being shocked and upset when life does what life naturally does. Part of that reality? Life isn't fair. Who said it was supposed to be? We're taught from childhood that it should be fair, so when someone else gets credit for our work, or bad things happen to good people, we feel cheated. We complain and play the victim. But here's the thing. Surrendering to the fact that life isn't fair is actually incredibly freeing. It stops you from being a victim and lets you focus on doing the best you can with what you've got. It shifts your thinking from "this shouldn't be happening" to "this is happening, what can I learn?" It frames your challenges not as battles, but as tests. And when you see challenges as tests, they become opportunities to grow, to practice patience, to rise above. So that's the first big shift, changing your perspective. Life isn't an emergency. Most things won't matter in a year. Life isn't fair, and it's all just a test. But what about when your own mind is the problem? When you're not mad at traffic, you're just in a terrible mood or filled with worry. This brings us to the second big idea, taming your inner world. Carlson has this brilliant metaphor called the snowball effect of your thinking. You know how sometimes you wake up at 3 in the morning and remember one small thing you need to do? Like, I need to make that phone call. But then it spirals. And after that call, I have to finish that project. I'm so behind on that project. My boss is going to be upset. If I get a bad review, I won't get that raise. If I don't get the raise, I can't afford that trip. My life is a mess. I'm a failure. One tiny snowflake of a thought rolls downhill, picking up speed and more snow until it's a massive avalanche of anxiety, all from one innocent little thought. The solution? Notice what's happening before the snowball builds momentum. The moment you catch yourself starting to build that list of worries or rehearse that imaginary argument, you just stop. You gently interrupt the train of thought. Phew, there I go again. Because here's the secret. Your feelings don't just happen to you. Your feelings come from your thoughts. Try it right now. Try to feel angry without having an angry thought first. Try to feel stressed without a stressful thought. You literally can't do it. Unhappiness doesn't exist on its own. It's just the feeling that comes with negative thinking. When you stop that negative thinking, the unhappiness disappears. This means when you're feeling bad, it's not that your life is bad. It's that your thinking has temporarily gone negative. This is especially true with moods. Ever notice how your entire life looks different depending on your mood? Good mood? Life is great. You love your family, your work is interesting, the future is bright. Problems seem manageable. Bad mood? That same life suddenly looks terrible. Your family is annoying, your work is awful, your future is hopeless. The trap is that we don't realize moods are temporary. We think our life has actually fallen apart. When we're in a low mood, we lose all perspective and start analyzing everything that's wrong. Carlson calls this emotional suicide. The trick? Be grateful when you're feeling good, and graceful when you're feeling bad. When you're in a bad mood, don't trust your thinking. Don't take it seriously. Recognize it for what it is, a temporary storm passing through, just a mood, and it will pass if you leave it alone. The practical tool here is to practice ignoring your negative thoughts. We have something like 50,000 thoughts a day. Many of them will be negative, fearful, or angry. That's just part of being human. You have two choices: analyze them, ponder them, build them into a snowball, or learn to dismiss them. Treat them like flies at a picnic. Just shoo them away and get on with your day. A thought is just a thought. It can't hurt you without your permission. All this mental management leads to one of the most famous pieces of advice. Learn to live in the present moment. Most of our anxiety comes from living in the future, worrying about what might happen. Most of our sadness comes from living in the past, regretting what did happen. But the present moment is the only place you actually are. John Lennon said it perfectly. Life is what's happening while we're busy making other plans. While we're busy planning to be happy someday, our life is slipping by right now. The antidote is to bring your attention back to right here, right now, to what you're doing, to the person you're with. And this has to be an inside job. So many of us think, I'll be happy when I get to college, when I get a new job, when I move to a new city. But here's the truth. Wherever you go, there you are. If you're an anxious, frustrated person now, you'll still be an anxious, frustrated person in that new city. You can't run away from your own mind. Peace isn't a destination. It's a way of relating to where you are right now. You have to be happy where you are. Okay, so we've shifted our perspective. We're learning to manage our minds. But what about other people? Let's be honest. A lot of the small stuff we sweat involves our interactions with others. The person who's rude, who criticizes us, who argues with us. This brings us to the third big idea: how to deal with other people without losing your peace. It starts with one powerful question: do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Because honestly, the two are often mutually exclusive. Our ego loves being right. It loves pointing out other people's mistakes. It loves winning the argument. It loves saying, "I told you so." But how does that actually feel? Carlson points out that your heart knows it's impossible to feel good at someone else's expense. When you make someone feel small, you feel a little deflated and ashamed too. So the strategy is simple. Choose being kind over being right. Next time someone says something you know is factually wrong, let it go. Next time you're in a silly argument, just stop. Let them be right. This isn't about being a pushover. It's about deciding your inner peace is more valuable than your ego's need to win a pointless victory. This connects to another habit. Let others have the glory. Ever been with a friend who's telling you an exciting story, and the whole time you're just waiting for them to finish so you can jump in with your story? Oh, you think that's cool? Listen to what I did. We all do it. Our ego wants the attention, but when we do this, we subtly steal that person's joy. The practice is to just listen, bite your tongue, let them have their moment. Say, "That's wonderful, tell me more," and actually mean it. You'll find that the quiet confidence you get from giving the glory feels way better than the fleeting high of taking it. This is about practicing humility. Humility means you don't need to brag. You don't need to prove yourself. Carlson says bragging actually dilutes the positive feelings you get from your accomplishment. When you're quiet about your success, you get to keep all the good feelings for yourself. But what about when people are difficult? What about criticism? First, resist the urge to criticize others. When we criticize, it says nothing about them. It only says something about our need to be critical. It's just a bad habit that makes the world more negative. Second, when criticism comes your way, try this. Just for fun, agree with the criticism. This is powerful. When someone says, "You're always late," instead of getting defensive, "No, I'm not," just try agreeing. "You know, you're right. I do struggle with that sometimes." Instantly the fight is over. The criticism vanishes. There's nothing to argue against. The other person feels heard, they relax, and you get to keep your peace. This all flows from the idea that praise and blame are all the same. You're never going to please everyone. Even in a landslide election, 45% of people wish someone else had won. You're going to get your share of disapproval. Instead of fighting this fact, expect it. Then when it happens, you're not hurt. You just say, there it is, and move on. So you stop fighting, you stop criticizing, you let others be right. What do you do instead? You connect. And the foundation of connection is listening. But most of us are terrible listeners. We're just waiting for our turn to talk. Carlson gives us 3 simple, powerful strategies. Don't interrupt others or finish their sentences. It's exhausting trying to be in 2 heads at once, yours and theirs. It makes everyone nervous and annoyed. Just wait. Breathe before you speak. After the other person finishes their thought, take 1 silent breath before you reply. That tiny gap transforms the entire conversation. It proves you were really listening, not just reloading. Become a better listener. This means being content to just listen. To be fully present with the other person, with no agenda other than understanding them. This leads to one of the most important habits. Seek first to understand. This comes from Stephen Covey, but it's central to this book. Most of us do the opposite. We seek first to be understood. You're not listening to me. You don't get my point. But when you reverse this, when you make it your mission to truly understand where the other person is coming from, what they're feeling, what they're afraid of, what they need, something magical happens. The defensiveness melts away. Carlson tells a story about a couple who argued about money for 10 years. He was a spendthrift. She saved every penny. When they finally stopped yelling and sought to understand, the truth came out. She was terrified of being broke like her parents had been. He felt embarrassed that he wasn't taking care of her the way his father had for his mother. The moment they understood each other's fear and shame, the frustration was replaced by compassion, and the problem was solved. That compassion is a muscle you can build. Put yourself in their shoes. This means you have to look beyond behavior. When that store clerk is moving painfully slowly, they're probably not trying to ruin your day. They're probably just having a bad day. Or maybe they hate their job. See the innocence behind the behavior. A wonderful way to practice this is to become an anthropologist. An anthropologist doesn't judge a foreign culture. They're just interested in it. How fascinating. That's how they see the world. When you see someone with wild fashion choices or political views you find baffling, instead of judging them, that's so wrong. Get curious. How interesting. I wonder what their world is like. This helps you understand separate realities. We're all living in our own unique worlds, shaped by our own experiences. We're all as different from each other as people from different countries. Of course we see things differently. Expecting everyone to see the world your way is guaranteed frustration. So you've learned to listen, to understand, to be compassionate. The final piece is giving. Practice random acts of kindness. Carlson tells the story of people on San Francisco toll bridges who would pay the toll for the car behind them. Imagine pulling up to the window and being told, "It's already been paid." That one small, anonymous act could change someone's entire day. Which leads to do something nice for someone else and don't tell anyone about it. When we do something nice, our ego loves to broadcast it. It wants approval. But Carlson says when you keep your kindness a secret, you get to keep all the positive, warm feelings for yourself. You're giving for the pure joy of giving, not for the reward. This is all part of making service an integral part of your life. Start your day by asking, How can I be of service? It doesn't have to be big. It can be taking out the trash when it's not your turn. It can be telling at least one person something you like, admire, or appreciate about them. These small acts, done with love, are what fill a life with meaning. Now we come to the fourth big idea. How do you build a life of peace? How do you make this a daily practice? First, you have to bust a huge myth. Let go of the idea that gentle, relaxed people can't be superachievers. We're terrified that if we relax, we'll become lazy. Carlson says the opposite is true. Fearful, frantic, emergency thinking takes massive amounts of energy. It drains your creativity and motivation. True success comes despite your stress, not because of it. Inner peace makes you more focused, more creative, and more effective. The second myth you need to bust is that you need to get everything done. Remind yourself that when you die, your in-basket won't be empty. We live as if the secret purpose of life is to reach the bottom of our to-do list. But the list never ends. As soon as you check one item off, 3 more appear. When you die, there will still be unfinished business. And you know what? Someone else will take care of it. So stop obsessing. Make peace with imperfection. The need for perfection and the desire for inner peace are in direct conflict. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, be grateful for what's right. From this foundation, you can start building new habits. The most important one, become more patient. Impatience is just a form of stress. Carlson, as a writer, shares how his young daughter would walk into his office and interrupt his work. His old reaction was frustration. I'm losing my train of thought. But his new practice was to see the innocence in her behavior. She wasn't trying to ruin his work. She was coming to see him because she loves him. When he remembered that, his irritation melted, and he was just a father lucky to have a daughter. You can create patience practice periods. Start small. Say to yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I won't let anything bother me. I'll just be patient. You'll be amazed that you can do it, and that success will build on itself. A counterintuitive strategy is to lower your tolerance to stress. This sounds crazy. We're taught to raise our tolerance. We admire people who can handle tons of stress. But Carlson points out that people with high tolerance for stress are always under high stress. Their stress level simply rises to meet their tolerance. The solution is the opposite. Notice your stress early, when it's just a small snowball. When you feel your mind speeding up, that's your signal to back off. Take a breath, and regain your bearings before it gets out of control. This is all part of choosing your battles wisely. Life is full of opportunities to argue. Most aren't worth the energy. Is it really important to prove you're right about which movie to see? Let it go. Save your energy for the very few battles that truly matter. But what about all the doing? We're a culture of human doings, not human beings. The solution? Allow yourself to be bored. Just for a few minutes. Do nothing. Stare out the window. Just be. At first, you'll feel anxious. Your mind will scream for something to do. But if you sit with the boredom, Carlson promises it will be replaced with deep peace. Your mind, like your body, needs a break. And you must schedule this peace. Become an early riser. Get up an hour before anyone else. This is your time. The phone isn't ringing. No one is making demands. You can schedule time for your inner work during this golden hour. Pay yourself first, spiritually. What do you do with that time? You can quiet the mind through meditation. Just 5 minutes focusing on your breath. Or you can take up yoga, which Carlson calls a tremendous stress reducer that balances body and mind. You can read, reflect, or just enjoy the quiet. This one habit can be the single most important change you ever make, because when the rest of your day starts, you're not running on empty. You've already filled your own cup. This brings us to the final and most important theme, the ultimate antidote to all the small stuff. It comes down to two things, gratitude and love. First, think of what you have instead of what you want. This is the secret to contentment. Most of us live in "I'll be happy when" mode. I'll be happy when I get that car, that grade, that relationship. But as soon as we get it, our mind just moves the goalpost. The more is better thinking guarantees we'll never be satisfied. The only way to be happy is to shift your thinking from what you want to what you have. Instead of complaining about your job, be grateful you have one. Instead of wishing your parents were different, think about their good qualities. Spend a moment every day thinking of someone to thank. This simple act gears your mind toward gratitude and makes it almost impossible to feel anything but peace. And where gratitude lives, love is close behind. Spend a moment every day thinking of someone to love. Just wake up, close your eyes, and ask, "Who shall I send love to today?" An image will pop into your mind. A friend, family member, even a stranger. Just wish them a day filled with love. Carlson says this sticks with you for hours. But don't just think it, do it. Tell 3 people today how much you love them. Carlson quotes Stephen Levine, who asks, if you had an hour to live and could make only one phone call, who would you call, what would you say, and why are you waiting? We all wait. We act like we have forever. We don't. This is the ultimate goal, to fill your life with love. And the secret is to stop waiting for love and start being a source of love. Be the first to reach out. Be the one who is kind. Be the one who listens. The more love you give, the more you'll find you have. Which brings us to the 100th and final strategy, the one that ties everything together. Live this day as if it were your last. It might be. We don't know when our time is up. We live as if we're immortal, postponing the things that matter most. Telling people we love them, taking that hike, writing that letter, forgiving. This isn't about being reckless. It's a reminder of how precious life is. A reminder to be present, to be grateful, to be kind. A reminder to not waste one more precious moment, sweating the small stuff. When you really step back and look at Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, you realize its genius isn't in some complex new system. Its power is in profound, gentle simplicity. This book isn't a mountain you have to climb. It's a collection of 100 small, quiet reminders you can pick up and use anytime. There's no intimidating 12-step plan, no overwhelming framework, just wisdom. What Richard Carlson did so beautifully was take these ancient, timeless truths from Buddhism, from psychology, from common sense, and make them accessible for our busy, modern, stressed-out lives. The core message running through every single page is this: your inner peace is your choice. We're so often convinced that our happiness depends on external things, on traffic, on other people's opinions, on our bank account, on our to-do list. This book is a powerful declaration of independence. It gently takes you by the shoulders and reminds you that you're the one in charge of your mind. You're the one generating your feelings. And you're the one who can choose in any given moment to let go. This is one of the most liberating ideas a person can encounter. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You're the listener. You're not the storm. You're the calm eye of the storm. So how can you start practicing this today? Not 100 things, just 3. First, try the 1-year test. The very next time you feel yourself getting angry or frustrated about anything, pause and ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Feel the problem shrink. Second, Catch the snowball. Just for today, watch for one of those thought attacks. The moment you notice one worry linking to another and another, just put up your hand mentally and say, stop. You don't have to solve it. Just notice it and stop it from rolling. Then take a single deep breath. And third, choose kindness over rightness. Just once today, find an opportunity to let someone else be right. It could be in a simple disagreement, a differing opinion, or a silly argument. Bite your tongue. Let them have the glory. And pay close attention to the quiet, powerful peace you feel as your reward. That was the book summary of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Dr. Richard Carlson. We've talked about some big ideas today, but I'll be honest, a summary can only ever be a map. It's not the journey. The real magic in a book like this happens when you live with it. It's in the quiet moments, when you're having that kind of day, and you randomly open to one page that says exactly what you need to hear. This summary is here to help you decide if this is a journey you want to take. If anything we've talked about today has made you feel a little lighter, a little calmer, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see your daily life. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this summary valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, Billionaire's Bookshelf. It means the world to us, and it ensures you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book. Let's keep growing together.